يا الطاش يا المعنى خط بكتابك الترحيب لو صار ليلك وجنة بالدجا في الليل تسري.
الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى، وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, today is our weekly class, The Fundamentals of Tawheed. And we are talking about the issue of the ulu of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ar-Rahman al-Arsh istawa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is above his creation, outside his creation, and we went through the Quranic proofs, the ayat and the ahadith and the saying of the companions and the sayings of the four imams and the sayings of the grammarians. And last session we went through a poem refuting Al-Jahm ibn Safwan, who the Jahmiyyah in general, those who only approve of the names without the meanings. And by the way, my dear brothers and sisters, the nature of these classes, okay, they require from the attendee, okay, ambition, patience, keenness to learn. But this is not a lecture. This is a series of serious matters related to the belief of the Muslim. So please, my dear brothers and sisters, take notes. Because you will need these things in order to defend your deen, to defend your faith, to protect your children, to instill in their hearts the correct belief. This is what I beg all of you to do. Today, inshallah, we will go through another poem by Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, which is portion of that poem, An-Nuniyah. An-Nuniyah is a poem that rhymes and ends with noon, called Nuniyah. There's another poem ends with meme, called Mimiyah. In this Nuniyah, Imam Ibn al-Qayyim, he summarized poetically the Aqidah of the Salaf, the Aqidah of the Sahaba, the belief of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. So I request you at least memorize this portion of the poem that we are going to and will inshallah go discuss it together inshallah. So take notes and start writing. He says rahimahullah ta'ala, Ibn al-Qayyim, والله أكبر ظاهر ما فوقه شيء وشأن الله أعظم شأن. والله أكبر ظاهر ما فوقه شيء وشأن الله أعظم شأن. والله أكبر ظاهر ما فوقه شيء وشأن الله أعظم شأن. I repeated it 3 times on purpose so that you write it. The meaning, Wallahu Akbar. Allah is the greatest. Allah is greater than anything. And we have to keep glorifying Allah and praising Allah. Allah is greater than anything. That's why when you hear the adhan, Allahu Akbar, you leave everything in your hand. Because Allah is greater than what you are doing. If you are in your shop, close it and go to the masjid. You are in a meeting, stop the meeting and go to the salah. Because Allah is greater than the meeting, business meeting, everything. That's why the true Muslim is the one who plans his day around the timings of the prayers. Wallahu Akbar. So Allah is greater than everything. And this word, when it is said, it frightens the enemies. In the battlefield, when the Muslims are screaming, Allahu Akbar, the enemies start to shiver. Because this word, Allahu Akbar, has tremendous impact in the hearts of the enemies. So the heart will break, crumble. Wallahu Akbar. ظاهر ما فوقه شيء. ظاهر is above all. That's why Allah is هو الأول والآخر والظاهر والباطن. Allah is the first and He's the last. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the first. No one before Him. And He will remain and His existence will not come to an end. Eternal. Everything will perish. Not Allah. كل من عليها فان ويبقى وجه ربك ذو الجلال والإكرام. Every living being on this planet will perish. Allah will remain. Wallahu Akbar. ظاهر is the most high. ما فوقه شيء. There is nothing above Him. He is above all the creation. Because when he created the creation outside himself, not inside himself. So he's outside his creation. So all created things are outside him, and he is above all creation. ظاهر ما فوقه شيء. There's nothing. Everything is created by him, is below him, and is above all. سبحان ربي الأعلى. See, the problem with many of us, when we pray, we don't reflect on what we are saying. We don't reflect on the positions we are in. Subhanallah. Imam Ahmad, rahimahullah, when he talked about the salah, when he was asked about why we put our hands right on the left and like that, he said, this is a gesture, a sign that you are captive, prisoner, standing before your Lord, begging him for emancipation, to set you free from the hellfire. So that's why you stand humbly before him. The highest point in the human body, okay, is this part, the forehead. That's the highest. We place the highest on the ground. We go to ruku', we bow. Get up from the bowing position and we go to prostration, sujood. And in the sujood, this highest point is touching the floor, the ground. And we say, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la. Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, glory be to my Lord the Most High. I am placing the highest point in my body for the Most High. I don't lower this head for anyone but the Most High. The Most High. The Prophet ﷺ taught us that when we ascend, you are climbing a mountain, steep ascension. The car is going uphill. What do you say? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. You are in board, flying. What do you say in the dua of safar? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allah is greater than this flying machine, this aeroplane. And Allah is greater than the one who manufactured it. No matter how high I go up, I will come down. Allah is the greater, the greatest. Allah is greater than anything. So the sunnah, when you go up, you say Allahu Akbar. The ulama, they say, why do you say Allahu Akbar? They said because a human being feels a sense of victory or arrogance or pride when he is above. So he has to be reminded that Allah is greater than you and Allah is above you. So, down to earth. And anything that goes up comes down. Go up, come down. Human being rises, boy, newborn, toddler, boy, adult, matured, old, then you curve like this. You go up, you come down. Countries, they go up, come down. Civilizations, they go up, they come down. Everything will come down. So, the person needs to be reminded that Allah is greater than everything. So that's why the Sunnah, when we are climbing, you want to climb the peak and the mount of Everest, and you reach there and you feel you are above the world. No, Allah is greater than anything. So the Prophet ﷺ said, when you are climbing, okay, the meaning, of course, that you say Allahu Akbar. And when you descend, you say Subhanallah. Takbir, when you are going up. Down, Subhanallah. Glory be to Allah, who doesn't change, who remains supreme and high. I was above and now I am descending. Glory be to Allah, who's always high. Reflect, my dear brothers and sisters, and see the greatness and the majesty of your Creator. Wallahu Akbar, ظاهر ما فوقه شيء. It's nothing above him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. وشأن الله أعظم شأن. And Allah's status is the greatest. His status is so lofty. Then he moved on, Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah. Wallahu, first of all, he praised Allah. Before delving into this topic, he praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he's telling us, Sha'nullah a'zam sha'ni. To talk about Allah, this is the greatest of all matters. There's nothing greater and more important and significant than talking about Allah and His attributes, and what can be attributed to Him and what cannot be attributed to Him. وَشَأْنُ اللَّهِ أَعْظَمُ شَأْنِي. Then he said, وَاللَّهُ أَكْبَرُ عَرْشُهُ وَسِعَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضَ وَالْكُرْسِيَّ ذَا الْأَرْكَانِ. والله أكبر عرشه وسع السماء والأرض والكرسي ذا الأركان والله أكبر عرشه وسع السماء والأرض والكرسي ذا الأركان. The meaning, Allah, and Allah is the greatest. His arsh, his throne, encompasses the heavens, the earth, and the kursi. So here Allah subhanahu, he is saying, Allah is the greatest. Arshuhu, the arsh of Allah. And this is the greatest of the creation, according to what we've been told in the revelation, in the Sunnah, and in the Quran. The arsh, Allah created it. وَسِعَ كُرْسِيهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. The kursi encompasses the heavens and the earth. The kursi. The Prophet ﷺ described the size of the kursi in comparison to the size of the arsh. And he said, وَالْكُرْسِي بِالنِّسْبَةِ لِلْعَرْشِ كَحَلَقَةٍ أو كَحَلْقَةٍ فِي فَلَاةٍ. Just like a ring you throw in the desert. Imagine you throw your ring in the Sahara Desert or Arabia. It's nothing. So this is the size of the kursi that encompassed the heavens, the samawat, the seven firmaments. When it is compared to the arsh, it is so small. The Prophet ﷺ said, I was permitted, أذن لي, I was granted the permission, أذن لي أن أصف ملك من حملة العرش فإذا ما بين شحمة أذنه إلى عاتقه مسيرة 700 عام or 500 عام. Subhanallah. Said, I was giving the permission to describe to us. Allah allowed him to give the description of one of the angels who carry the arsh, Hamalat al-Arsh. The distance between the earlobe and the shoulder of the angel is a distance that will be covered in 700 years. Subhanallah. Can you imagine? Mind-blowing. Something our minds cannot comprehend. This is one of the angels. This arsh, according to the hadith, in comparison to the kursi, it is something we cannot imagine. All this cosmos we see, all these galaxies we see, are under the first heaven, the first firmament. Then there are seven. And the Prophet ﷺ, on the night of the Mi'raj, he penetrated all these celestial bodies and he went through them that night. because Allah is the one who took him. So what's the problem? What's the issue? No issue at all. Yes, according to the human ability and capacity, impossible. But according to the capacity and the ability of the Creator, it's nothing. The Prophet ﷺ didn't say, I went last night to Jerusalem, Bayt al-Maqdis. He didn't say that. He didn't say, Saraytu al-Bariha. He said, Usriya bi. Usriya bi. I was taken. Allah took him. سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله. Allah is saying, glory be to him who took his servant Muhammad on the night journey from the sacred mosque Masjid al-Haram to the farthest mosque Masjid al-Aqsa. So Allah took him. So for the Prophet ﷺ to go to heaven by the Allah's will and Allah's power, we Muslims have no problem with that. Rationally, logically, everything. So this arsh, Wallahu Akbar, arshuhu wasi'a as-sama. So the arsh encompasses the heavens, the seven firmaments, and the earth, and the kursi, and the kursi, the arkani, the kursi that has pillars. Then see how he is describing to you what you should believe. Then he moved further. وكذلك الكرسي قد وسع الطباق السبع والأرضين بالبرهان. وكذلك الكرسي قد وسع الطباق السبع والأرضين بالبرهان. وكذلك الكرسي قد وسع الطباق السبع والأرضين بالبرهان. Likewise, the kursi encompasses the seven heavens and the seven earths without any shred of doubt. So likewise, the kursi encompasses the seven heavens, seven earths, without any doubt, with the proof, with the evidence, because Allah said so. وَسِعَ كُرْسِيُّهُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ. So his kursi encompasses samawat, the seven heavens, and the earth. And that tires him not. Doesn't make him tired or difficult for him to control. وكذلك الكرسي قد وسع الطباق السبع والأرضين بالبرهان. So there are seven heavens and there are seven earths. What are these seven earths? Some ulama, they try the seven continents, some they are saying other planets. Allah knows. Allah knows. We don't know much about this creation. You see, we are within our galaxy, within the Milky Way, and we know nothing about it. We are a tiny speck within our solar system. solar system. When you see the size of the Earth, it's nothing. Tiny. Tiny bit. Speck. So this creation, only Allah knows about it. See, recently when they launched the huge telescope, more powerful than Hubble, because the scientists were expecting that they will discover the dimension of the universe. This new telescope started sending images, shocked the scientists that the dimension and the vastness of this universe is something beyond our imaginations. Because Allah is expanding this. وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. Allah is expanding this universe. And the time will come when it will collapse. And Allah will bring it to an end. These glowing stars that light will be put off, extinguished. The skies will split asunder. The mountains will turn into dust. The seas will be set ablaze. Everything will come to an end. وكذلك الكرسي قد وسع الطباق السبع والأرضين بالبرهان. And he said, rahimahullah, Ibn al-Qayyim, the students of Ibn Taymiyyah, these two imams today, Ibn Taymiyyah, his Sheikh, his works, his writings are being studied, revised by the non-Muslims. The think tanks are studying, they try to analyze the thought of Ibn Taymiyyah because he was a polymath. He was ahead of his time. When you read what Ibn Taymiyyah wrote, you think that he is talking about our current situation. This Imam, this Mujahid, who refuted all deviant thoughts at his time, all the deviant sects. He refuted the philosophers. He refuted the logicians. And he wrote books on these topics. He refuted the Christians. And he wrote his book, الجواب الصحيح لمن بدل دين المسيح. The sound response and the correct reply to those who adulterated the deen, the religion of Christ. He refuted the Shia, and he wrote his book, Minhaj al-Sunnah. And many of the Shia scholars and students, when they studied Minhaj al-Sunnah, they become Sunni. He refuted the Ash'ari in his book, famous book, and the other sects. درء تعارض النقل والعقل. The refutation of the idea that there is a conflict between revelation and reason. You say there is no conflict between reason and the intellect. And his students, but the style of Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, it's not easy to understand. You need to focus because he is writing, okay, for a high caliber people. Allah blessed Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah by this student, Ibn al-Qayyim, who Allah blessed him with this talent and this gift of simplifying things and make them easy to be digested and understood. And he chooses his words, and you can see his style touches your heart because he focuses in many of his works on the matters of the heart. Matters of the heart. So if you want to purify your soul and know about yourself, read the words of Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala. So here he's saying in this poetic verse, Wallahu fawqa al-arshi, Wallahu fawqa al-arshi wal-kursiyi la takhfa alayhi khawatir al-insani. الله فوق العرش والكرسي لا تخفى عليه خواطر الإنسان. والله فوق العرش والكرسي لا تخفى عليه خواطر الإنسان. And Allah is above the throne and the kursi. لا تخفى عليه خواطر الإنسان. Our hidden thoughts, what we hold in our minds, conceal in our breasts, he's aware of it. He's aware of the hidden thoughts of man. What you hold that we human beings do not know, he knows it. يعلم خائنة الأعين يعلم خائنة الأعين وما تخفي الصدور. He knows the dishonest looks, lustful looks, treacherous looks. He knows the encoded messages in that look. When you just do like that, he knows it. And what your breasts conceal and hide. لا تخفى عليه خواطر الإنسان سواء منكم من أسر القول ومن جهر به ومن هو مستخف بالليل وسارب بالنهار. It's the same to Allah. All the same. The one who conceals and the one who reveals and discloses. And the one who is hiding himself in the darkness of the night. Or discloses his sins and commits his sins openly. It's all the same. Allah doesn't sleep. Allah sees. Allah watches. Allah is vigilant. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم. Allah, there's no deity worthy of worship but Him. Al-Hayy, the ever-living. Al-Qayyum, the one who's overseeing, supervising, watching over all His kingdom. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم. Neither slumber nor sleep overtakes Him. So that we see, my dear brothers and sisters, the Aqidah, the true belief, brings this love into your heart of Allah. Because you know this Rabb, you know this Creator that you worship. You know, you feel His greatness and you see His presence, okay, in this creation that He created. That everything tells you there is a Creator, okay, who created me. So you see the azamah of Allah, the greatness of Allah. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. And to yourself, you don't reflect. You want to see signs of my existence? Look into yourself. Reflect. So Allah knows. You can't hide anything from Allah. So when you have this feeling and this belief that my Lord is watching me 24/7, then you will refrain from doing shameful deeds. You will not stare at women. You will not look at haram. You will not lock your door and start watching porno. Because you know Allah is watching you. والله فوق العرش والكرسي لا تخفى عليه خواطر الإنسان. Allah فوق العرش is above the arsh and above the kursi. And our thoughts are not hidden from Him. He knows our hidden thoughts, what goes inside, what is in your mind. He knows that. But out of His mercy, these thoughts that are, okay, happen and flash in our minds against our will, He will not hold us accountable for these things. Because, you know, the shaitan, that is his job, is to try to tempt you with all forms of haram. So things will flash, pop in your mind. Things from the past of your sins, they will pop in your mind, though you repented. But the shaitan will try to retrieve the old files. That's why we should try all the time to forget about the past and get rid of anything that will remind you, anything will trigger and bring the old memories. Try to get rid of it. Pictures, telephones, anything. The places that you used to go and do haram, don't go to such places. Because the shaitan will try to remind you. Subhanallah, there is a hadith which is really describes this. He said, ما من عبد إلا وله ذنب يتعاهده بين الفينة والأخرى. No human being except that he has dhanb, a sin. This sin will keep visiting him from time to time. The sin will keep visiting him from time to time. So that's why we just keep begging and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. And the ulama, they said, when they talk about making tawbah and they said you have to make istighfar for every sin, then they mention on the condition that remembering that particular sin will not make you yearn and long to do it. So, and you know yourself. So if remembering it will make you long for it, then don't remember it and just make dua collectively and saying, oh Allah, forgive me all my sins. So after he mentioned Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his arsh and his kursi, now he is addressing the deviant sects. Those who are saying, today, ask any Ash'ari, Maturidi, and this is what is taught in many Islamic institutions. Allah fi kulli makan. God is everywhere. This is what they are saying. الله لا داخل العالم ولا خارجه. Allah is neither inside the creation nor outside the creation. This is what they are saying. This is what they are teaching. So to them, Allah is neither outside the creation nor inside the creation. So where is He? He doesn't exist. This is their aqidah. They don't know what they are talking about. Allah doesn't exist to them. One of the ulama said they lost their Lord. They don't know their Rabb that they are worshipping. They lost Him. Because if we ask you, define for us nothingness, define for us al-adam, nothingness, you will not find a definition but better than what you are saying. Allah is neither outside nor inside. So what is He? And what is this? This is nothing more, nothingness, Adam. So you are saying God is not there. But of course, they don't mean that because they think by saying that they are praising Allah. Otherwise, if they believe in it, this is kufr. They are just the brothers of the atheists. The atheists say there's nothing there, and they are saying there's nothing there. What's the difference? An atheist say, no God, and you are saying He's neither there, inside, nor outside, which is the same thing. He's not there. There's no real existence of Allah. This is the belief of all these deviant sects. May Allah guide them. So now Ibn Qayyim is addressing them. And he's saying, لا تحصروه لا تحصروه. لا تحصروه في مكان إذ تقول ربنا حقا بكل مكان. See, they are saying Allah is neither outside His creation nor inside His creation. At the same time, they say Allah is in every place. بكل مكان. La ilaha illallah. May Allah guide them. So they're saying Allah does not exist outside His creation, nor inside His creation. Then He said, Allah fi kulli makan. Allah is everywhere. This makan, place or makan and where, what is it? There's something created. So you are negating the absolute highness of Allah, that He's outside His creation, and then at the same time, you confine Him and you limit Him in every place which is created. But they don't. And they call themselves that they are rational. What rationality is this? This is a stupidity. What rationality? God is everywhere. What do you mean? God in the toilet? Huh? What do you mean? So wake up. And subhanallah, the saddening part of this dilemma, that they call Ahl Sunnah, who are saying Allah is above His creation, outside His creation. He neither indwells in any of His creation, nor any of His creation indwells in Him. They call them what? Mujassima. Anthropomorphist. They are Mujassima. So the Sahaba are Mujassima. Anthropomorphist. The Prophet ﷺ, he's the one who says these things. He's the one who described his Rabb and told us Allah has these. These are His attributes. So they are calling Ahl Sunnah Mujassima. Because when they read the ahadith, because their minds have been corrupted, okay, with this sickness of imagination and imagining things, so immediately when they are reading Allah has hand, it comes to their mind the human hand. Because their minds are corrupt. They don't know what they are the greatness, and they don't know the nature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When Allah simply told us, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. There's nothing like unto Him, and He's all seer or hearer. Nothing. So whatever comes to your mind, Allah is not like that. Very simple. Only the words are common. Realities are different. Allah's hand not like yours. Allah's face not like your face. So tell your little grey matter to know its limitation. To know its limitation. Tell the mind, how mind, hold your horses. Allah is not like that. Only the word is used. This is the limitation of the human language. That's why Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah, he taught us how to argue with those who are influenced by ilm al-kalam. And unfortunately, some of our brothers, the dua, are affected. whether they know it or not, feel it or not, by philosophy. May Allah save them. But they have to wake up and know the true belief of Ahlul Sunnah and the Salaf and the Sahaba. So when you find and read in the books of the Salaf, and they are mentioning, and we say, we believe in this, and we believe in this, and we believe in this, they are refuting the deviant sects who deny such attributes. They are not likening Allah to the human being. They're not. Because they know, ليس كمثله شيء. They know that. Only the name is common. As Ibn Abbas said, there's nothing in the Jannah, okay, equal or the same as what we have in the dunya, except the name. Khamr, khamr, wine, wine, milk, milk. Only the name. Realities are different. Take the word yad. Yad means hand. My hand. Okay? Then I say yadu shanta, the hand of the bag. Hand of the bag. Yadul bab, the handle of the door. Yadul qitta, the hand of the cat. Hand, 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 hand. Is my hand like the hand of the door? Or only the name is common and the realities are different? Of course. And this is something you see it with your own eyes in Allah's creation. So why, when you come across the attributes of Allah, you want to compare them to your attributes? May Allah guide you and open your eyes and your heart to the truth. That's why Imam Shafi'i said, نَاظِرُوهُمْ بِالْوُجُودِ. Those who deny the attributes of Allah, ask them, does Allah exist or doesn't He? I'll pose this question to them. Does Allah exist or doesn't He? If they say He exists, then tell them, I exist as well, and you exist. And your argument all the time, your methodology, which you apply, that any attribute that is common between Allah and the human beings, we have to negate it. So now you have to stick to your methodology. And you have to say Allah doesn't exist because I exist. So this attribute and quality of existence is common. And according to you, any common attribute cannot be attributed to Allah. So you have to say Allah doesn't exist. If you say Allah doesn't exist, you say, thank you. We reached the end of the chapter. Okay? You are not a Muslim. If he said no, Allah exists, but His existence is not like mine and yours. See, barakallah feek, jazakallah khair. And you have to apply this across the board for all the attributes of Allah. His face not like your face, His hand not like your hand, His knowledge not like your knowledge, His hearing not like your hearing. That's it. And within the ayah, keep all that ayah in front of you. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ الْبَصِيرُ. Nothing is like unto Allah, and He is all hearer, all seer, or hearing, or seeing. So here he's saying, Ibn al-Qayyim, لا تحصروه في مكان إذ تقول ربنا حقا بكل مكان. Do not confine him to place by saying our Lord is everywhere. كل مكان. Allah is everywhere. What do you mean Allah is everywhere? He is everywhere in person or knowledge? No, in knowledge. Okay, barakallah feek. Yes, Allah with us by his knowledge. As Allah said to Musa and Harun, قال لا تخافا إنني معكما أسمع وأرى. Go, both of you, Aaron and Moses, to Pharaoh. I am with you, I hear and see. Allah is with you. Allah, yes, with us. This witness. But he is outside his creation. But to say Allah is everywhere, and he's not outside nor inside, what are you saying? So, you denied his existence outside his creation, and you denied his absolute highness above all his creation, and then you are limiting him. And then you see the sad part of the argument is that they are called Ahl Sunnah, the Salaf, the Sahaba, Tabi'een, and they always look upon the three generations. They look upon the Sahaba, Tabi'een, Tabi'een, the Salaf. And they are saying, Manhaj al-Salaf Aslam wa Manhaj al-Khalaf A'lam. The methodology of the Salaf, it is the safest. But our method is the most knowledgeable one. They don't know how it can be the most knowledgeable one, but it is not the safest. Hello. If it is the most knowledgeable and the most accurate, it has to be the safest. So we want the safest. We want to enter the Jannah. We want to, the day we meet our Rabb and we are questioned, why did you describe me like this? Our Rabb, you told us like that and we believe in you. So what are you going to say when Allah asks you, why did you misinterpret my attributes and you denied them? Well, we don't want the people to go astray. So my words and my revelation not guides the people, misleads the people, right? How can you defend yourself? May Allah guide them. Ameen Ya Rabbi. And may Allah save our brothers, those who are fond of the ilm al-kalam and philosophy and the works of the Greek philosophers and the atheists. Really, they are on a slippery path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save them. نزهتموه بجهلكم عن عرشه وحصرتموه في مكان ثاني. You denied his existence above his throne, outside his creation, and limited him to exist in another place. Okay, this is what he's saying. نزهتموه بجهلكم. You think by denying that he's outside his creation, you are attributing perfection, tanzih, perfection to him. And this shows your compound ignorance, your jahl. نزهتموه بجهلكم عن عرشه. Because of your ignorance, you denied his existence outside his creation. And that he's above his throne and outside his creation. Yet, at the same time, وحصرتموه في مكان ثاني. See the contradiction. He's neither outside nor inside, yet he's everywhere. What do you mean? وحصرتموه في مكان ثاني, and you confined him and limited him to exist in another place. Then he continued lashing them, exposing them. لا تعدموه بقولكم لا داخل فينا ولا هو خارج الأكوان. لا تعدموه بقولكم لا داخل فينا ولا هو خارج الأكوان. Do not deny his existence by saying he's neither inside nor outside his creation. And by saying this, you are equating him to nothingness. You are equating Allah to the Adam. لا تعدموه بقولكم. Do not equate him to nothingness, to non-existence, to the Adam. لا تعدموه بقولكم لا داخل فينا. That is, you are equating Allah to nothingness when you say لا داخل فينا ولا هو خارج الأكوان. Is neither inside nor outside his creation. Now, piece of advice for our brothers, the dua. Teach the people the correct aqidah. Teach your Muslim brothers that you interact with them the correct belief, with hikmah. Talk to the Sha'ira. Many of you, they interact with them. And they go to their platforms. But you discuss these things in small circles, inner circles, only people of knowledge, in a brotherly atmosphere. Okay? So that you remove this shubuhat they have in minds. Because they think what they are upon is the haqq, is the truth. And the way of the Salaf is the way of the people who are very simple, like-minded. Those who have they are not like thinkers. So here Ibn Qayyim is telling them, please do not deny Allah's existence and by equating him to nothingness. Because what you are saying, Allah is nothing. When you say he is neither inside nor outside his creation. Then he continued, rahimahullah ta'ala. Allahu Akbar. Hutikat, or hutikat, Allahu Akbar. هتكت أشجاركم. الله أكبر. هتكت أشجاركم وبدت لمن كانت له عينان. Allah is the greatest. Your veils, which means your weak arguments, these veils that cover you, these weak arguments that you are shielding yourself with, your what you call rational arguments. These astar, these veils, these weak, baseless arguments are torn apart. All your arguments are crumbling, falling apart. وبدت لمن كانت له عينان. Your reality became so vivid and clear to any observer. To any observers, it became so apparent and so clear. Allah is the greatest. Your veils, false arguments are exposed, refuted, rebutted, torn apart, and appeared your argument, the weakness of your argument appeared vividly for any observers, for anyone who has two eyes, who thinks, anyone who thinks and reflects. Then he continued, Wallahu Akbar, Jalla an shabahin wa an mithlin wa an ta'tili di kufrani. Allah is the greatest, and He is exalted above being resembled or likened to any of His creation. Exalted be He above the misinterpretations of the disbelievers. Wallahu Akbar. والله أكبر من له الأسماء والأوصاف كاملة بلا نقصان. And Allah is the greatest, whose names and attributes are perfect without any deficiency. Without any deficiency. This brings us to the end of this beautiful portion of the Nuniyah by Imam Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah. May Allah shower His mercy upon his soul and elevate his status in Jannat al-Na'im. And may Allah keep us treading on the path of the Salaf until we breathe our last breath and find our Rabb pleased with all of us. Ameen. May Allah bless us with the beneficial knowledge and righteous deeds. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us our faults and mistakes and ignorance, and may Allah guide our ummah to the haqq, and may Allah guide all those Muslims who are not on the right track and bring them to the proper methodology and proper path of the Salaf. Ameen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unite our hearts on the haqq. Ameen. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, immensely for your patience and attendance. Barakallahu feekum. جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Ameen wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakumullahu khair, Sheikh, for today's lessons and reminders on our fundamentals of Tawheed class. For those of you who are watching, just want to quickly mention, I mention this every session, that if you're not in the WhatsApp group where we have notifications of any plans or times changing, or where we have our Q&A session, you can join by texting at the Al-Fitrah phone number, which has been sent in the YouTube live chat. This is also where you'll be notified of when we are going live. Or you could subscribe to the YouTube channel and turn on the notification bells so that you'll be notified when we go live about maybe 10-20 minutes before we are actually starting our class. And as for the Q&A session, if you can send your questions either in the WhatsApp group or you can send them in the YouTube live chat, and someone will be able to forward them through. Along with all the previous episodes for both the Fundamentals of Tawheed sessions and the Matters of the Heart classes, you can find all of those compiled on a playlist on the YouTube channel. They all have their own dedicated playlists in case you would like to rewatch any previous sessions or would like to catch up if you have missed any. And inshallah, they're all there for your access. Our first question, Sheikh, is asking, Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, Abdullah, Maghrib is approaching.
Okay, inshallah. The first question is asking, is watching TV or news where the people or the reporters are mixed in genders allowed or forbidden?
Watching TV about what?
If you're watching TV and there is, for example, like mixed genders there, etc., is this permissible to watch or no?
Or don't watch. Because you will be looking at the woman. Right? Or you will be looking at the men only. You know yourself. Are you going to look at the women if you are a lady, or you look at those handsome, beautiful faces of men? Face it. You answer yourself. Next.
Jazakumullahu khair. The next question is asking, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Some people claim that every person is a Khalifa on earth and they misinterpret the Quran and Arabic to back their claim. What should we reply to such people?
Educate them. Yes, the Adam is a Khalifa. And what does it mean Khalifa? Which means he will be succeeded by his progeny. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made the human beings successors. And Khalifa in the sense of the Caliph, okay, if we mean Khalifa, successor, human beings, they succeed one another. You succeed your father when he passes away. So Allah made our father Adam alayhi salam Khalifa, appointed him on earth. And He told him before He created him that he's going to be succeeded, which means he's going to die. He's not going to live forever. Okay, so human beings, they succeed one another. But the Khilafah, in the sense of that Islam will have the upper hand and a state and all that, Allah promised that if we come back to the deen. And the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the authentic hadith that the Khilafah will come. And if you want that Khilafah to come, you should contribute to hasten its establishment. And how do you hasten its establishment? By being good Muslim. As one of the ulama said, أقيموا دولة الإسلام في أنفسكم تقم لكم في أرضكم. Establish the Islamic state within yourself, meaning live Islamically in your home, in your life, at family, and I do the same and he does the same, then Allah, as promised, He will grant this establishment of the deen and the earth. Because Allah doesn't break His promise. وعد الله الذين آمنوا منكم وعملوا الصالحات ليستخلفنهم في الأرض كما استخلف الذين من قبلهم وليمكن لهم دينهم الذي ارتضى لهم وليبدلنهم من بعد خوفهم أمنا يعبدونني لا يشركون بي شيئا. So Allah promised. Okay? Allah promised you, the Muslims. Those who believe, الذين آمنوا منكم, those who believe from among yourselves and do righteous deeds. That is going to make them successors, khulafa. Okay? Allah said that. But if you are believers, Allah will fulfill this promise. I hope this is clear to the questioner. Last question, Abdullah.
Jazakumullahu khair. The last question for today is asking, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What would be the best reply to the Ahmadiyya claim of the coming of another prophet?
Ahmadiyas are not Muslims. They're not Muslims. They are kafirs. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَخَاتِمَ النَّبِيِّينَ, no prophet to come after the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Isa alayhi salam, when he comes, he will follow the deen of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the law of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's why he will just pray behind the Mahdi. He will not lead. So don't waste your time. We have to give them da'wah just in the same way we give da'wah to the non-Muslims, because they're not Muslims. I hope this is clear.
Jazakumullahu khair, Sheikh. And that brings us to the end of today's session. For those of you watching, please don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 12 o'clock UK time for the Matters of the Heart class, inshallah. We will see you all then. And Sheikh, if you have any final words, I can pass it to you.
Barakallahu feekum, jazakumullah khair. May Allah bless you, bless your family, protect you, protect your family. May Allah elevate your status in this world and in Jannatul Na'im. Ameen. Until we meet, inshallah, tomorrow, I leave you in Allah's company and protection. بحفظ الله ورعايته. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
آمين وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.